Welcome to this full practice called Heart Openers. I designed it with the idea of strengthening the back muscles and opening the front body. There's lots of spinal extension, and it's a more vigorous practice. I think you'll like it. If you're newer to yoga or not familiar with a Sun-Salutation or standing bow or balancing half moon, I have breakdown videos on my channel that will help you. If you do those first, it'll help you really flow with this more easily. But again, as always, just put on your own music, stop and start the video as you feel needed, make it your own. So thank you for joining me on the mat, and I'm glad you're here today. Alrighty, let's step onto the mat, and when I say that, I mean mentally as well as physically. When we come on the mat, there's the idea of letting go of everything that's already happened today or tonight or whatever time of day it is, and what hasn't happened yet, because we have to let go and not rehearse all of that, or we can't do anything about what hasn't happened yet. So it's about focusing on the moment, really tuning into a moment-to-moment idea of focusing on our breath, our alignment, and we'll get the most out of this practice. It's really a beautiful thing when we can learn to do that. Alrighty, let's bring the feet hip distance apart so they're parallel, right under the hip bones, not the outer hips. And we're going to move into standing mountain. For this first part, if you'll just close your eyes so you can really get in your body and into your breath. So we're closing our eyes. We're taking a deep, long breath, that same breath, that ujjayi breath, in and out of the nose, about 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out, and it's a very even, slow tension from beginning to end. You should hear the breath through the nose on the inhale and the exhale. That way we're filling our lungs to capacity, and over time we're actually expanding our lung capacity. So another great thing, and these heart opener poses really help make room by increasing our positive posture so that we can have room for those lungs to work. Alrighty, so we're breathing in and out of the nose, slowly. It's a diaphragmatic breath, rib cage is going out to the side, and then we're going to start activating from the feet up into standing mountain. Alright, so muscle engagements. So go ahead and open the eyes, keep that breathing going, and on an inhale, let's lift the shoulders, let's reach them back and slide the scapula down as if you're tethering them to the back of those hip bones. So you see how already the front body is nice and open. Let's extend all the way through the fingertips so that we're taking the crease out of the elbows and engaging the arms. Go ahead and lift all 10 toes, spread them out, and let's lay them down into the mat from the outside in. So we're planting our toes into the mat without gripping. So we've got a nice, firm rooting sensation going on, and we feel the bottom of our feet and all the contact places on the ball of the foot, the heel, and all 10 toes. I like to shift my weight from side to side and back to front until I find that place of most weightlessness. Then I know my spine is nice and stacked and my joints are all stacked. So let's go ahead and lift the kneecaps, engaging the quadriceps so that our legs are engaged. And then remember the engagements on the pelvic floor. That's the Mula Bandha. We're going to, as we're closing an umbrella, we're going to lift that up and hold that through the breath. And that helps strengthen and protect all those muscles on the pelvic floor. The next, Uddiyana Bandha, that's just Sanskrit for the mid-body lock. So we pull the belly button in as if we have a button on the belly button and we're tufting it to the back of the spine as if you have a string pulling it. So you feel all those layers of the abdominal wall engaging. So we're holding those two locks through the inhale and the exhale. Let's imagine that our spine is a strand of pearls on an elastic string, and someone is pulling the top of the string and the bottom of the string. So we're taking a little bit of the curve out of the spine by sending the tailbone down and lifting through the head. So now we are in standing mountain. We are still and strong, and active. We're balancing those opposites. Take a breath here. On an inhale, let's lift those arms overhead, and we're going to go ahead and clasp them into our hand mudra, hand posture, the steeple mudra. So we lace the fingers, pointers are together, thumbs are wrapped, palms are all the way together, and we take as much of the bend out of the arms as possible. Again, the shoulders may have raised, so we send the scapula down the back, making room between the ear and the shoulders. On an inhale, we're going to, from the waist all the way through the fingertips, we're going to lift up. Now we're going to bend over to the side as if we're pressed between two panes of glass. So you're mirroring me, so we're all going to go to the right, it's my left, but we're going to the right, lifting up and out into crescent side stretch. All right, feel the side body opening. With every inhale, the rib cage is expanding. Press in to the foot on the opposite side. So it's going to be your left foot. Press into that. Reach through the fingertips. If you'd like to bring your feet together, it's a little bit more of a balance challenge, and you can send the hips out. Keep breathing. We are holding this on purpose. We will hold a lot of the poses, opening up the body for flexibility and building strength and stamina at the same time. All right, on an inhale, come on up. Let's soften. Inhale, reach up again. Let's go to the other side. Whether your feet are shoulder distance apart or together, go ahead and lift up out of that waist. Remember, if the upper shoulder has tilted forward, we want to tilt it back so that we're nice and stacked in our shoulders, as if we're between those two imaginary panes of glass. This is a side body stretch. Keep breathing in and out through the nose, long deep breaths, taking it to that edge, finding that new space, making room in our body as we go. Come on up, soften the shoulders. We're going to do one more bend to the back. This is a baby back bend. It's our first spinal extension of the day, so we're not going to push it too hard. Inhale up. We're just going to get a feel of it. Go ahead and look up towards the fingertips. Now draw a line across the ceiling, the sky, wherever you're at. Reaching back as far as you can. Press the hips forward, lengthening the arms. Here's a great place to go ahead and lift the heart, lift the sternum, roll the shoulders back, and breathe. Baby back bend. Come on up. Nice. Exhale those hands down. All right, let's move into a forward fold. If you brought your feet together, go ahead and bring them hip distance apart for this forward fold, this little series that we're about to do. So inhale those arms up, soften the knees. Exhale, we're going to float down all the way until we're hanging. Our upper body is just hanging. So lift the hips. The knees can stay soft, but keep lifting the hips so you have that engagement in the legs. Let the upper body hang. We're in an inversion, which is so good for the blood to be flowing towards the brain, reversing that flow through our lymphatic system. Inversions are really good for us. Let's draw our hands to opposite elbows, forming a frame around the head. Now reach the forearms on the top of the head towards the mat, lengthening the spine as we lift the hips. Forward fold. Let's release the elbows. Reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale through the midline of the body. All right, now we're going to go forward fold, flat back in a flow. So inhaling up. We'll take this first one a little bit slow so you can really feel that flat back. Soften the knees through the midline of the body. We take the hands into forward fold. Release at the bottom. On the next inhale, let's come to that flat back. It's an L shape. So roll the shoulders back, lengthen the arms. If you're down, if your hamstrings are open and your hands reach the mat, that's fine. If not, just attach them to the lower leg, kind of creating that structure of support. Roll the shoulders back, Reach through the crown of the head and the tailbone at the same time. If the upper body is at all rounded, lift the heart. That's your flat back. So memorize how that feels. We're going to flow with it. Exhale back into forward fold. Let everything just fall to the ground. Reverse swan dive all the way up into prayer through the midline of the body. So here we go. We're going to do 3 of these. Inhaling up. Exhale to that forward fold. On an inhale, come up to the flat back. Keep growing and growing. Exhale back to forward fold. Reverse swan dive all the way up. Baby back bend if you like. Through the midline. Take a breath. Let's go again. Inhaling up, just getting things heated and flowing. Exhaling down. Release all the air. Come into a strong flat back. Keep it reaching and growing. Exhale the upper body, releasing it towards the floor to forward fold. Reverse swan dive. Press through those feet. Hands together. Baby back bend if you like. Exhale down. One more time. Inhaling up. Back bend if you like. Exhale. Forward fold. Flat back on an inhale. Exhale. Release to forward fold. Reverse swan dive. Press through those feet. Come all the way up. A little bit of a deeper back bend. Nice. Come on up. Bring the hands in prayer through the midline of the body. So anytime you're in a sun salutation or forward fold, the hands can come up this way and come down this way, or they can come up and flow right down. There's no right or wrong. Make it your own. It's what works for you. We're going to move right into a sun salutation. We'll take the first one a little slow, kind of break it down, get the feel of each pose in our body, and then we're going to flow with it. All right. Feet either together or apart. Here we go. Inhaling up. Exhale, forward fold. Release at the bottom. Come to that flat back. Now bring the hands to the mat. Step back to kneeling or full plank. Draw the hips down. Press the shoulders forward. Bend the elbows back. Come to that hover or all the way down. Press up to that up dog. Top of the feet comes onto the mat. Roll the shoulders back. Draw the heels together. Lift the kneecaps and drop the hips. Look back as far as you can. Press up through those arms. There's your up dog. All right, tuck toes or roll over toes. Come on up to our first down dog. You may need to walk the feet in again. Always keep the hands planted. If you need to shorten the distance, just walk your feet in a little bit. Feet are hip distance. We are going to walk the dog on this first one because we're just kind of getting the aches out. So lift one heel on an inhale while the other one goes to the mat. On the exhale, reverse that. Nice and slow, with intention. Feel that breath. Press up through the arms. Shift the weight back. All right, let's bring both heels towards the mat. They don't have to be in the mat, just towards the mat. We're trying to reflect that energy up. So there's a nice long line from the wrist to the elbow, to the shoulder, to the hips. And then legs are nice and straight as best you can. Keep lifting the hips and pressing the weight back. Breathe into this. Keep the air flowing. Keep the energy moving. Keep those engagements active but still. On an exhale, crouching tiger. Bend the knees, send the hips up and back. Look between the hands. We're going to step. Stepping forward. Let it keep going into a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Reverse swan dive all the way up. And exhale. We're going to go with the breath on this. Do it at your own pace. Make it your own. Inhaling up. Exhaling, forward fold. Release at the bottom. Inhale to a strong, reaching flat back. Exhale to that plank, kneeling or otherwise. Bend the elbows back. Come on up to up dog. Exhale to down dog. Now just hold this for 3 long breaths. Keep it active. Keep it strong. Third exhale, crouching tiger. Get all the air out. Inhaling, stepping forward. Let it grow to a strong, flat back. Exhale, reach the top of the head towards the mat. Reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, Sun-Salutation. A little rest pose, kind of like standing mountain, a little softer in the hands. Let's go again on the inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, chaturanga, like a tricep push-up. Bring those elbows into the ribcage. Inhale up, up dog. Drop those hips. Tuck toes. Down dog, 3 breaths. Lengthen it back out. Heart rate is lifting, feels good. Stay focused. Lengthen that breath back out. Crouching tiger. Stepping forward to that flat back. Exhale, reach to the top of the forward fold with intention. Reverse swan dive, I almost made it a swan dive. Sun-Salutation. All right, let's go again. We're lifting the heart rate, we're getting that breath going, we're lubricating the joints. That's what sun salutations are meant to do. One more. Inhale up, back bend if you like. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step back. Slowly lower, resist, resist, resist. All the way down. Even if you land on the floor, that's fine. You build strength every time you resist. Up dog. Exhale back. 3 long breaths. Crouching tiger. Inhaling, let it bloom. Flat back. Reach that forehead down. Forward fold. Reverse swan dive. There you go. All right, that feels good. Okay, next we're going to do a standing shoulder opener. So go ahead and lay your feet hip distance apart. We're going to go into a steeple mudra behind our back. Steeple mudra is that we did it over the head already. Laced fingers, pointers together, thumbs wrapped. So you go ahead and do that behind the back as best as you can. I like to kind of roll my shoulders back and then lengthen the arms out. So we're pointing down, we're reaching down. Now we're going to go into that spinal extension. Roll the shoulders back, lift the center of the chest. Take the eye line as far up and back as is available to you. Press the hips forward. Now reach down. Let the eye line and the reaching of the hands take you further back. Engage those quadriceps. Feel the kneecaps lift. Press the hips forward. Take an inhale. On the exhale, really reach. You'll find a little more space on the exhale. Again. One more long inhale and exhale. Slowly come on up. This time we're going into forward fold shoulder opener. So draw the pointer fingers together, open the palms so your fingers are still laced in a basket. So now soften the knees, let's hinge forward. Just leave the arms along the back right now until the head is reaching down, the legs are as straight as is available. Now, lengthen the arms towards the back wall. Lift the hands towards the ceiling. Same thing, keep breathing, deep breath. On the exhale, find a little more room, reaching, lengthening. Keep that action going. Keep those feet nice and planted. Hips are lifting. Release the head. Bring the arms back to the back body. And let's come on up. Slowly. We don't want to get dizzy. Nice. All right. Shake those arms out. All right, we're going to go into a little bit of a flow here. So just come with me. All right. Inhale up. We'll do a little vinyasa to get there. Exhale, down. Come to a flat back. Step back into our down dog. Find a breath or two here. On an inhale, lift the right leg, point it to the ceiling. As high as you can. The arms want to soften. Strengthen the arms. Strengthen both legs. Reach. All right, bring that foot that's up in the air forward between the hands. Let the heel lift. Now, hips are down. Knee is over ankle. Big toe is pressing into the mat. All 5 toes are in the mat behind and the ball of the foot. Reaching through the heel. The knee wants to bend. Take the back of the leg to the ceiling. Reach through that heel. We're going to either climb up or flow up into our exalted warrior. All right, we're going to hold this pose, building strength, balance, and stamina. Send the shoulders down. Lengthen the arm. Find that straight ahead warrior gaze. Come back to the breath. Make it strong. Lengthen it back out. You might wobble a bit. Pull the hips together. Really extend that back leg through the heel. That's going to stabilize you. All right, we're going to revolve this. So we're going to take it towards the right hip. The arms are going to open. Shoulders are going to rotate towards the front leg. Keep reaching in opposite direction, rotating that spine. Pull that hip in. Look back if that's available to you. Revolving the warrior. If we fall out of it, just get back into it. All right, come back to the front, to exalted warrior. Hands come together. They come through the midline of the body. We hinge forward. Hands come on either side of the front foot. Draw the hips down. Take the back knee to the mat. Top of the foot comes on the mat. Inhale back up through the midline of the body. Into prayer, hands overhead. Let those hips press forward. If the knee starts going past the toe, if the heel is in, just scoot it out. We don't want to put too much pressure on that knee. Lengthen those arms, send the shoulders down, and here we go into another back bend. Drop the head back, eye line past the fingertips, reaching back, lifting the center of the heart up, reaching, hips are moving forward. Keep breathing. It's a bit of a balance challenge. Take a moment to breathe into it, not away from it. Come on up. Nice. All right. Take the hands back down to the mat on either side of the front foot. Draw the hips back evenly till the front leg is straight. Toes are reaching. Now, roll the shoulders back. Instead of rounding down, we're going to bring the heart forward and lengthen over that leg. Breathe into it. Roll those shoulders back. Your focal point can be your dristi on your big toe or just ahead of it so that we don't drop the head. We're reaching through the crown of the head. We're extending the spine, lengthening the spine. Pull that belly button in. All right. Let's bring the weight back onto the front foot. Tuck toes in the back foot. Now we're in that nice long lunge. We're going to bring the front foot back and we'll end up in down dog. All right, walk that out if you like. Let's do all that on the other side. So come to a nice stationary down dog. Both heels are reaching into the mat. Really don't forget to use those hands, not just the heel of the hand. Press into those fingers. Bring the rib cage towards the thighs. Pull the belly button in. A lot going on all the time in yoga. All right, we're going to now take the opposite foot, the left foot, up to the ceiling or the sky. You're happy to be on a beach. I love to do yoga on the beach. All right. Reach up into three-legged dog. Now bring that foot forward between the hands in front of the mat. You might have to scoot it over to the line. So your back foot is not directly behind the front foot, it's hip distance out. Gives you a wider base and more stability. Remember to draw the hips down, reach through that heel, the knee wants to bend. Try and send the back of the leg to the ceiling. Really find that stability in that. All 5 toes are in the mat. Inhale or climb up to Exalted Warrior on this side. Find your breath. We create a storm in yoga, and then we find the calm in the midst of the storm through our breath. Building focus, building strength, building muscular endurance. It's much harder work than it looks. Shoulders down, lengthen those arms. All right, we're going to revolve this. Open those shoulders to the front hip. Keep rotating, pull that hip in. Reach through the back leg. Look back if you're able. Reaching. Breathing. All righty. Inhale those arms up front. Exalted Warrior. Now, bring them together through the midline of the body. Hinge forward over that front leg. And then drop that back knee. Top of the foot comes to the mat. Let's go ahead and shift the hips forward. You might have to scoot that foot a little bit. Keep that good alignment. Bring the hands through the midline of the body, together in prayer over the head. And then we're going to reach back into a crescent stretch. Breathing, reaching. Press evenly into the front foot. That's going to help give you stability. Find your breath. Find a little more room. Lift the heart, lengthen the arms. Come on up. Nice. Hands come to either side of the front foot. Hinge back with the hips, lengthening the front leg. Straighten it out. Even those hips out. I tend to want to sit in that hip. Even them both pointing towards the front mat. And then send them back. Look just past the big toe or at it to keep the head lifted and the heart lifted so that we're not rounding down. It is a long, lengthening spine over that front leg. And we're breathing. Now is a good time to bring you into child's pose. So just a reminder that child's pose, send the hips back. So we're sitting on the heels. We're going to walk the hands forward. This is an active child's pose. Bring the forehead to the mat, if that's available to you. Spread those fingers out. Press the hips back by pressing the hands forward, as if you're trying to lengthen the mat. This is a pose you can come to anytime you need a little rest, a little extra breath. And if your body needs it, give it to your body. You're going to get more out of the practice when you take these little respites as needed. All right. Let's come on up to all fours. And let's go ahead into cat and cow for a little spinal extension and contraction. So we're going to start just here in the just the bridge pose, basically. So it's a long, straight spine. Pull the belly button in so that we're not letting our tummy fall and opening the hips behind us. Instead, pull the belly button in, supporting that low back. Press up through the shoulders instead of falling between the shoulders. So everything's nice and strong and active. Look ahead of the mat. Again, we've got a nice long line as if there is a yardstick from the back of the head to the tailbone. That's our neutral spine. Take a deep breath. On the exhale, arch the back. Moving into cat. Tuck the chin. Pull the hips towards the armpits. Round as much as you can. Very active. On an inhale, let's go into cow. Slide those scapula down the back. Look up. Open the hips behind you. Let's do that a few breath cycles. Use your own breath cycle and timing. Let's go ahead and exhale into cat. Inhale into cow. Keep it going. You know what to do. Let's have one more breath cycle, and we'll all meet back in neutral spine. All right. Go ahead and tuck your toes. By the way, this is a great way to find a good distance for your down dog by tucking the toes, send the hips back, lift the knees, straighten the knees first and the arms. Now shift shoulders and hips back. Reach the heels toward the mat. They don't have to be in the mat. The Achilles may be tight or whatever. Your body's different. Remember to always make your body, let the pose take its shape on your body instead of trying to push your body into a preconceived idea of a shape. Breathing. All right. We're going to bring the right foot between the hands. Just reach it there, help it if you need to. Now, look back at the back foot, drop it at an angle. Make sure that the front heel is lined up with the arch of the back foot and that the back foot is planted all the way to the knife edge of the foot. Inhale up into our first warrior one. Breathing. Remember to rotate the hips forward, shoulders forward, arms long. Reach those scapula back down the back, the shoulder blades, making space between the ear and the shoulder. Find your gaze. Strong warrior gaze. Breathing, holding. We're working towards a 90. You don't have to be at a 90. You can shorten your stance, whatever you need. But that just means that our knee is moving forward, our hips are coming down as we work this breathing and opening. We're going to move into warrior two on an inhale. Open those arms and shoulders towards the long end of the mat. Make sure that you are exactly parallel. Hips, shoulders, arms. Turn the head. Look over the front three fingers. Bend that knee as deeply as you can. Again, moving towards a 90. Eventually. Reach in opposite direction so the shoulders come down. Now, my tailbone I tend to arch my low back when I move into warrior two. I have to remember to pull my belly button in, send my tailbone down. That's better alignment. Keep breathing in this. Building strength, building stamina and endurance. My heart's beating. I can feel it. That's good. All right, we're going to reverse this warrior. Take the back hand down to the back of the leg. Turn the palm up to the ceiling. Sweep the arm up, let the eye line follow the fingertips all the way back. Do a side back bend. Keep reaching that knee forward. Find the opposition with the knee reaching forward and the fingertips reaching back. Hold that. Breathe into it. All right, inhaling, sweeping back. We're already here, so we're going to go right into our side angle, but it's going to be a bound side angle. So first, just go ahead and bend the front arm. We're going to turn the back palm towards the front body, and we're going to take the forearm down to the thigh without leaning into it. We've got a strong shoulder. We're not sinking into it. We're going to look up at the top hand. Reach up. So the back of the top hand, both shoulders and hips should all be aligned on that imaginary wall behind us. Now, to do a half bind here, we're going to take the top hand, we're going to bend the elbow, take the back of the hand to the lower hip or low back. Once you're there, go ahead and use the pressure on the low back, press that hand in there and rotate the shoulder a little deeper and extend the bottom arm if that's available to you. Now take the forearm into the inner thigh and you'll use that rotation to open up the chest a little more into our bind. Look up, rotate up. Our heart is pointing at the ceiling or thereabouts. Breathing. All right. Inhale up that hand. Now come on all the way up to our warrior two. Go ahead and bring the hands to the hip for a moment. Straighten the front leg. Both legs are straight. My back hip is rotated forward. I'm going to open it back up to the long edge of the mat. I'm going to shorten my stance just a little bit as I move into triangle. It's up to you. Seems to work better for me. Lengthen the arms. Again, make it your own. Set yourself up for success. And don't be hard on yourself. Yoga is a practice. We grow, we never arrive. It's a good life lesson. All right, turn the palms towards the front body. Just like hands on the clock at 6 and 12, we're going to rotate them. Take the front hand down, the back hand up. Go ahead and look up. Now, it doesn't matter how deep you go. It matters that the upper body is nice and aligned and not rotating forward, that imaginary back wall. Once that back hand and shoulder is on it, then you can slide down the leg, finding that new space. Sometimes I like a little support with my hand, but not too much, or reach on down, pull that belly button in, building core strength. Triangle, straight legs. Feel the kneecaps lifted, quadriceps are engaged, press into the feet. All right, now we're going to take the top hand down, bend the front knee, take the top hand down, the hips have to rotate towards the mat, the back heel lifts up. We're in a lunge. We're going to move into our pyramid. So bring the back foot hip distance apart, parallel or slightly angled, straighten the front leg. Whatever you need to do, either on a block or on your leg, in order to get a straight, long back and not a rounded one in pyramid, we're going to take this lengthened spine over the front leg. Again, we take the gaze ahead of the mat so that we can keep that alignment in the head. If you need to widen your pyramid so that you can straighten the front leg, go ahead. Whatever works, building into that, because it's not head to knee. We're not rounding and bending the knee. It's pyramid. The other thing is you want the hips even, so my front hip is kind of sunk into the back one, so I need to even the pressure between both feet and then level my hips off. All right, we are moving into balancing half moon. Take your time. If you need to stop and start the video, that's fine. If you fall out, just get back in. So, if you need to take it to the wall, take it to the wall like I talk about in the breakdown of balancing poses. So, shift all the weight onto the front foot. Take both hands ahead of the front foot. Tense the fingers. Get little 5 points in each hand for balance. Lengthen the back leg and immediately flex that foot. Really got to keep it flexed. Bring the toes towards the shin. Reach through that heel, nice and straight, and lift it hip level. All right, straighten the front leg as best you're able. Find that place of balance between the front hand and the front foot. And then reach through the heel. Again, re-engage, pull the belly button into. Lots of engagement going on. Fine-tuning. If you can, bring the opposite hand to the hip. And then up. I may have to stop talking for a minute. Takes a lot of focus. All right. All right, good. Woo! That takes a lot, doesn't it? All right, you can either fall out of it like I just did, or bring that back foot down alongside the front foot, drop the hips, squeeze the knees, heels are up, and then reach through the heels. If you need to, keep the hands here for balance. Stretching the Achilles, finding our breath. How'd you do? It's different every day. Balance changes depending on how much sleep you got, how hydrated you are, where your focus ability is, all that. So again, that's why we practice it. We let it happen differently each time. It's fine. All right, from here, we're just gonna lift our hips and step back into our down dog. Find a couple breaths. If you need to, take a child's pose. We have 3 breaths here. Crouching tiger, nope, sorry. We're going to bring the left foot forward, drop the back heel. We're setting up a warrior one on the other side. We're gonna flow all those poses on the other side. Hands come up, shoulders are square to the front edge of the mat. Rotate that back hip as forward as is available. If you have to kind of scoot that foot forward to get a good alignment as your knee bends, you don't want to go over those toes, or past those toes, I should say. So if it's rolled out or rolled in, send it over the middle toes. Bring the shoulder blades down, lengthen the arms, straighten the back leg. And breathe, warrior one. Inhale, exhale to warrior two. Open the hips down to this edge of the mat. Rebend that front knee. Square the shoulders off. If you're forward or back, set your shoulders right over those hips. And then extend in opposite directions the hands. Send the tailbone down, pull the belly button in. Find your focus right across those three fingers. Center the hand. Warrior two. All right, we're going to reverse this warrior. So send the back hand down to the back of the thigh. Turn the front palm up, sweep it up. Let the eye line follow it. Drop the head back if that's available to you. Keep bending the front knee. Find the opposition, reaching through the front knee, all up the side body through the fingertips. Breathing, reaching. Press evenly into those feet. Sweep back to warrior two. Bend the front arm, forearm. And let's go ahead into side angle. Remember that the back of the hand, the shoulder, and the hips are all on that imaginary wall we're looking up to. We should be in profile from behind. All right, we're going to bind this in a half bind. We'll take the top hand, back of the hand, turns, palm out to the low hip or low back, whatever works for you. It's a great heart and shoulder opener. Lift that heart. Extend the bottom hand. This is a peak pose. Keep rotating, rotating. Find that new space. Extending that back hand back up top. Come on up. Warrior two, arms, go ahead and straighten both legs. We'll move into triangle. If you want to shorten your stance a little bit, you can. But reopen those hips and shoulders. Now, as you reach forward into triangle, send the hips back. And the back hip is naturally going to tilt up. Reach as far as you can, strong, straight legs. Rotate the palms to the front body. Hands on a clock, 6 and 12. Look up at that top hand. Again, if the shoulders are rotated forward, take the back shoulder, hand to that imaginary wall behind you. Pull the inner thighs together, pull the belly button in. Now exhale and find the depth of the pose. First find the alignment and then the depth. Breathing into it. All right, we're going to sweep the top hand down, bending the front knee, lifting the back heel. You know what's coming. We're moving into balancing half moon. Sides are different. Just give yourself a lot of grace. Just see what happens. Be curious instead of expecting things to happen. Another good life lesson. Just be curious, see what happens. All right. Really reach through the heel of the lifted leg. It's hip level. Tent those fingers or use a block. Find that balance between the front hand and the front foot. When you're ready, if you're ready, open the body up, the hips up, and sweep the top hand up. Woo! There we go. My balancing half moons are not that balanced today, but that's fine. Again, let's drop the hips. It's a good counter stretch. All right. Okay, here we go. We are going to move into a more strenuous balance challenge into dancer pose. Again, it's on the breakdown for balancing poses video. If you have to stop and start, go right ahead. I'm going to take you through it at my pace. Fall out, get back into it. You will fall out. It can take, even with regular practice, it can take a year till you get even near that fuller extension and balance. Anyway, the goal is to grow in balance and strength and openness, and just doing it at any level will help you with that. All right, so now we're going to shift the weight into our left foot. Strong stable foundational leg. So we want that quadricep engaged. Pull that belly button in. Remember, it's important when you hold the inside of the ankle that you're not grabbing it like a claw. You want to grab it like a hook. So you just want to draw the thumb in to the other fingers and make a scoop. And that gives you more strength in the hold. All right, so you're going to kickstand out the foot that you're going to catch. And sometimes it takes a couple tries, but you're going to catch that inner ankle. My hamstrings constantly tighten on that first one. All right, grab it and send the other hand up. Remember to bring the knee into the other knee. Point the back toe. Press the foot into the hand. Find that pressure, lengthen the arm. Reach up. Keep reaching up. Plant that foot, strengthen the leg on the standing leg. Begin to open by pressing the thigh back, arching the back into that crescent. Keep going. Take it at your own pace. I'm going to go again. Let it open. Find the tension. When you're ready, hinge forward. Ooh. I'm going to go again. All right. Here we go. Find your breath. Find stillness before you progress to each phase of it. It helps. Whew. Had to fight for that one. That's okay. Every time you fall out, fall in, do it again. You build strength. You build those neuro connections that help you find balance the next time. Again, though, fatigue will affect it. I'm having a very tired day, so it is affecting my balance, but that's okay. We're letting go of ego, and we're just practicing to build strength and focus and wellness. So enjoy it, even when it's hard. All right, open the hand out. Glue that thumb to the other fingers. Find the inside of the ankle heel. Ooh, got cramping again. All right. There are modifications on the balancing breakdown that I show you how to use a wall on the strap just to get into this pose and start to work it. All right, reach up through the top hand, press the foot into the back hand. Send the thigh back. Rotate the shoulders, stacking them a bit. Keep extending. Keep extending. Find the fullest expression of the pose that you can until you fall out it. All right. I think I'm just going to let that one be the one on this side. All right. Go ahead. When you're ready, catch your breath. We're going down to the mat. I know you like hearing that. All right, first we're just going to do a straddle before we go all the way down. But let's move into our Buddha squat. So turn those toes out. Draw those heels in. Take them at least to the outer edges of the narrow part of your mat. Inhale the hands up and over into prayer. Now bend the knees out. Keep opening them out. Draw the hands through the midline of the body. You might already be saying, ow. All right, it just depends on what your hip openness is and your connective tissues and all that. Anyway, you may have to support here. You may have to adjust your legs. But keep dropping the hips on every breath, slowly lifting the heart. Now, if you can, draw the wrists even with the elbows. That's going to really help your wrist flexion. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart. Give it a few more breaths here. I know you want to come out of this. Find that new territory. Try and soften it on the exhale, that resistance. There you go. You might find a little more space. Okay, now bring the hands to the floor and the knees down. And let's just sit back for a moment in hero's pose. Oh, that feels good. All right. One more wide leg forward fold and a rotation of the spine, and then we continue on the mat. So go ahead and come to that neutral spine, tuck toes, and find your down dog. Oh, that feels good. You're much more open now. So really press those shoulders and hips back. Reach those heels, straighten those legs. All right. Now, just walk the feet forward and out. And as wide as you need, keep heel-toeing them out and toes are in, heels are out, until you can find a flat back. So you might have a very wide, or you might need a block in order to find a flat back. You just play with it until you can find straight legs and a nice flat back. Now walk the hands to under the shoulders, lengthen that spine, just like we've been doing by tucking the chin a little bit, rolling the shoulders back, and then now hinge only from the hips. We're not rounding at all. So keep the heart moving forward, walk the hands back, keep looking at the horizon, keep looking until you're looking at your mat, but you're still lifting the head until the forehead one day comes to the mat. Draw the elbows in, breathe. Play with the feet if you have to widen the stance a little bit or shorten it. Like I need to shorten this a little bit so I can really reach. I want to rest on my head. All right, inhale back to that flat back, walk the hands forward. Now, take the right hand under the center of the chest, sweep the opposite arm up, rotating the spine, we're revolving this straddle forward fold with a flat back. Sweep that hand down, replace it right in the center of the heart, inhale up, rotate the other way. Breathe, keep opening those shoulders, looking up. Awesome, bring it down. All right, now come on down into a wide leg child's pose. You're gonna love this. So feet are together, knees are wide. Go ahead and bring the head down. Soften to the elbows for a complete release, or stretch forward and keep it active. Up to you for a few breaths. Oh, we worked hard. All right, now we have some kneeling and seated poses. We're working our way onto our backs. All right, so into hero's pose. So at first, just sit on the heels. Feel a little stretch there. Now, for hero's pose, you may need a block or a blanket to put under your hips, depending on how your knees are. So please honor them and back off or out of this pose at any time, stopping along the way. I'll show you the progressions. I don't even know if I'll go to the full progression today or not, because it changes for me a lot. All right, so we come on up here, lifting, and we bring our heels, kind of estimate where our hips can fit through there. And then if you need to, kind of move the calf muscle out of the way and start sitting down, keeping the knees together as much as you can, and hands on the mat or the feet. Keep lifting the heart, either sitting on a block or a blanket, or today, my hips are on the mat. That doesn't always happen. Since I'm here and I'm breathing, keep rolling the shoulders back. I'm going to move to the next step. So I've got my hands on my feet or the mat, and I'm bending my elbows down to the mat, holding onto my feet. Keep lifting the heart, rolling the shoulders back. Talk about a heart opener, right? All right, keep breathing. And if you find that you're open enough, you can bring the head and the shoulders down, and then the hands go overhead. And I am barely there today. It's a little bit too much, so I'm going to come right back to here. It's a progressive stretch and pose. All right, come on up. Walking one hand at a time. It's fine, my knees have separated some. Over time, they'll stay closer together. Okay, let's kind of crawl back to the center of our mat for half tortoise. All right, so we're sitting on our heels, feet are together. Pull the belly button in, roll the shoulders back, Inhale the arms up overhead into those prayer hands. Lengthen the arms, send the shoulder blades down. Trying to keep the weight back on our heels or in that direction. We're reaching through the spine and the fingers, hands, everything. Hinging forward, rounding down until our knife edge of our hand hits the mat. Stretch it out because we want to just keep the knife edge of the prayer hands resting on the mat. The elbows are engaged and lengthening. Take the crease out of the elbow. Let the head come to the mat, forehead or nose, whatever's available to you. But keep pressing the hips back and reaching the hands forward. Breathe into this. All right, pull that belly button in. We're going to lift everything together, keeping that spine as long and straight as you can, sending the weight back to the hips, all the way up. Exhale, the hands down. All right, we're going to go into camel. Now, I'm not going to go into full camel. I mean, I might on the third one, I might not. But let's all do these first two the same way, and then you can decide if you want to stay in supported camel or take your hands back to your heels. Up to you, depending on how you're feeling today. All right, so those knees are right underneath the hip sockets or slightly out. Leave the feet tracking where they were right behind the knees if you moved them out. And then to start off, just so you know what supported camel is, bring both fronts of hands, so the palms are out, to the low spine. Turn them over, palms in, press in. So fingertips are on the tailbone. Shoulders are rolled back, lift the heart. All right, hips keep pressing forward. Let's all take our right arm up. Again, eyes past the fingertips. Inhale, lengthen the arm, lift the heart up, reach back, eyes go back, fingertips go back, hips move forward. Keep one hand supporting the low back. Keep breathing. Find new space. All right, slowly come up. So sometimes we get dizzy. Sometimes emotions come up. When we go into back bends, sometimes the brain goes a little funky. It's okay. We're learning to really train that fight or flight response. That's a big part of what yoga does. All right, so let's go ahead and take the other arm straight up. We're supporting it with the hand, opposite hand onto the low back. Press the hips forward. Lengthen all the way from the knees to the hips, all along that front body. Lift the heart, roll the shoulders back, take the eyes past the fingertips. Take an inhale, lengthen. On the exhale, see if you can reach a little further back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach further back. All right, slowly come up. Okay, so now both hands are in supported camel. If you want to reach for those heels, go for it. It's up to you. Again, there's no judgment. There's no measuring stick. We're not even comparing ourselves to where we were yesterday. I try not to do that. But it's important, just being where we are today. We're getting 100% of the benefit with 100% of the effort. So press the hips forward, roll both shoulders back, lift the heart, look up, look back. I like to find a couple breaths here, finding as much room and space as I can on the exhale before I take the hands back. So today it's not going to happen. That's fine. Keep breathing. Come on up. Alrighty. Let's come on all the way down to the mat. Legs are in front of us, extended. Just walk the hips back a little bit. Maybe shake them out. All right, let's start with a half-seated forward fold. Taking the right foot flexed to the corner of the mat. Draw the other one alongside the inner thigh. Sit up nice and tall on those sits bones. Evenly too. Flex that foot. Send the back of the leg down the mat. Again, we're working with an extended spine, with the heart open and the shoulder blades back. So we're not going to round down to the knee on this one. We're going to take the lengthened spine and hinge it forward. It doesn't matter how far it goes. It just matters that we're working in that direction with a nice, long, engaged core and lengthening spine. So if you'd like to tent your fingers out to the side, roll that shoulder back to keep it from rounding forward. Send the scapula down the back, tether it to that back hip bone, and reach forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Send the opposite shoulder of the extended arm down the back. Reach the heart forward. I want you to think of lengthening the top of the head. The only thing bending is right here at the hip, not any of the little hinges in the spine. That imaginary yardstick is behind our head down to our tailbone. Inhale, extend and hinge a little bit. See what's there. If you have enough room that you can still keep those shoulder blades back and bring the heart forward, then go ahead and change your foothold. But keep that foot nice and flexed. We're stretching the Achilles, plantar fascia, sending the back of the leg to the mat. Keep reaching that crown of the head and the heart forward. Breathe. Think of bringing the heart through the shoulders. All right, come on up. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Bring that out to the corner of the mat. A little support. I like to create stable architecture, structure. So there's a little bit of pressure. We're all connected. The energy keeps flowing to keep us nice and engaged and stable. Send the sits bones into the mat. Sit up nice and tall. Maybe start here. Send the shoulder blade back and down. Reach. Inhale. Lengthen. Exhale. Roll that shoulder back. Find that foot. You can use a strap. Whatever works for you to keep that alignment. The props are there to help you so that your body memorizes good, strong, safe alignment. And then you can move and progress into the depth of the flexibility. So some people just have a natural flexibility. They're connected tissues, their tendons and ligaments and the way their joints are set create more flexibility naturally. And some people just practice a lot of yoga and they find their maximum or optimum flexibility over time. All right, come on up. All right, so let's do a seated forward fold with both legs. So you may need to bend your knees, which is fine, to either strap or that peace finger hold. So you take your pointer and your middle, you slide it between the big toe and the second toe. You put your thumb on the big toenail. Walk the hips back to kind of rotate the pelvic girdle forward and lengthen out the legs. They can stay bent or send them all the way down to the back of the mat. The key is if you're using a strap, you can do it, but if you can't, if you have to keep them bent, just go ahead and lengthen the spine. So what I'm saying is if you can't lengthen the spine, if you're having to take the upper body forward, then bend the knees. But keep working the hips back and the heels forward. All right, keep breathing. Lengthen the spine, roll the shoulders back. On an exhale, bring that heart forward. Reaching forward, lengthen the spine. So my feet were sickling, bring them out. Maybe grab the knife edges. Keep those feet as if you're standing on them. Active and nice and strong. Keep breathing. All right, come on up. Nice. All right, next we're going into something called sage twist. It's another upper body, upper spinal rotation with a bind. So don't worry about how far your arms go or don't go. This is about rotating the spine, finding the openness, and opening the shoulders at the same time. All right, so you're going to keep your right leg straight ahead. You're going to draw the opposite one in towards the glutes, the heels as tight as you can, but you can still sit on both sits bones. All right, so you're gonna take your right hand onto the shin of the bent leg and then draw that arm, the left arm, inside the leg. On an exhale, I'm gonna reach as far as I can forward. The exhale is gonna help propel me forward and make space in my core for this reach. And then I'm gonna wrap my arm around. So you may wanna watch first. Inhale, exhale, as far forward as you can, wrap that hand back. Now sit back down on that hip if it lifted, mind you. Take the opposite hand back, and both backs of the hands are reaching back, or turn it if you can clasp hands. Just like a spinal twist with a bind. All right, rotate the upper shoulder up and the heart out and turn the head. And we're using the bind to help us turn, just like we did in that bound side angle. Lift the heart, look up, rotate up. Keep that foot active on the extended leg. All right, come on out of that. Whew, that felt good. All right, let's do the other side. Extend that leg, flex that foot. Draw the heel in as best you can. Hold that shin, that's gonna give you a little extra length. Inhale, exhale, wrap it around. All right, sit back down. If that sits bone is lifted on that side, now rotate the shoulders and look up. So don't worry about where the hands are exactly, just keep them reaching towards each other. And rotating the shoulders, opening the heart. See if you can shine that heart to the side wall. You're thinking, yeah, right, some of you. I am there, been there. It's fine. Enjoy this new space you're finding, this new mobility in your spine. All right, come back around. Whew. All right, let's go into cow face. This is on the hip openers, and it's a great hip opener, but it doubles as a shoulder opener too. All right, so we take the right leg, and we're just gonna thread it. So in cow face, just a reminder, the hips stay here, they don't move. The knee comes to the midline of the body, as close as you can, as your alignment will allow it, as your hips will allow it. So we're bringing that knee towards the belly button. I'm gonna stack this knee on top. And I'm gonna bring the heel out from under the sits bone so that I'm nice and anchored. If your opposite rib cage is out, then you're not anchored. So root that hip bone deep into the mat. Again, on the hip openers, I show you a lot of different modifications depending on how open your hips are, like even sitting on a blanket, that kind of thing, leg placement. So we're going to take the right arm up and back, and then the left arm back. So the left arm, the back of the hand is on the back, the palm of the hand is on the upper. Now, what's really important about this upper body stretch is there's a very normal tendency. See how my chin is down, my head's forward? That just to get into it, that happens. But now I want you to lift the back of your head to that imaginary wall so that both hips and as much of your spine and shoulders and the back of the head is on that imaginary wall. Take an inhale. On an exhale, let the elbows open. Oh yeah, I can do that too. A lot going on, keep breathing. We're nice and warm, so we can go into this deep pose with our shoulders and our hips. But breathe into it. If you feel pain, back off. If you feel discomfort, not pain, breathe into it. Breathe, move towards it, not away from it. Because that's where you're going to find the release in the exhale past that discomfort. All right. But we don't want sharp pain because that could be tearing or straining a tendon. All right. Let's do that on the other side. So now we're going to thread the left knee under the right leg till the knee is lined up with the belly button, the midline of the body. We're going to stack the other knee on top, making sure we're not sitting on that lower heel, and we're nice and rooted into the mat. Now we're going to take the left arm up and the right arm back. Sometimes I help it, a little pull. I close the gap as much as I can, whether I can reach or not. I lift the back of my head to that imaginary wall. I take an inhale. On the exhale, I open those elbows. Repeat that process. Lengthen, lift the heart, exhale, open the elbows. That feels good. I've had some tweaking in my shoulder, and it is healing and opening back up, and this is helping. All right, but it's so important to honor it and not take it past where it's at. Shake those arms out. I think I forgot to go hinge forward, but we'll do it on this side. It's fine. We won't be lopsided. Just let the upper body hang over. Walk the hands forward. Let the weight of the head move towards the mat. This is one where you can really release and let gravity do the work. Breathing into that. Alrighty, coming up. We're going to roll down to our backs for our chest opener and a few other things. Alright, so walk those hips forward. Plant those feet evenly on the mat. We're going to roll down. First, we're going to sit up tall, and then we're going to round the spine. And if you can, let each vertebrae hit the mat, rounding with control. Reach forward, keep the feet planted into the mat. You may hit a flat spot or a release. That's okay. Every time you do it, just like those chaturangas, you build strength. Alrighty, we're going to move into our hip bridge. So I'm scooting my glutes closer to my heels, or you can walk your feet up. That's fine. But you need some space over your head for your arms. Let's start with our arms alongside the body, palms down, roll the shoulders back. Plant those feet evenly into the mat. That's going to keep the knees from moving, and it's going to give you more stability on our hip lift. So first, let's just move into a hip lift, and then we'll flow with an upper body chest opener as well. All right, so pull the belly button in, tilt the pelvic girdle by lifting the tailbone. Press the feet evenly into the mat. Keep articulating the spine up off the mat. Get those shoulder blades underneath. Keep lifting. On this first one, if you want to do a little press up, ooh, that kind of help open it a little bit. That can feel good. Just be gentle. Now slowly lower from the top of the spine to the bottom. Again, keeping those feet evenly planted. All right, now inhale just the arms up over the head till the back of the hands. If it's available to you, you can come to the floor or thereabouts. We're going to take a deep inhale here. On the exhale, the hands come over the head as the hips lift. Exhaling, lifting the hips, bringing the arms down to the mat by the hips, as the hips are nice and high. Reverse that. Inhaling, lowering the hips, lifting the hands overhead. Let's do that a few more times with the breath cycle. On the exhale, hands overhead, hips lifted. Take your time. Let it flow. Inhale. Big inhale. Last time over the head. Exhale and keep lifting those hips. Let the hands come to the mat. Once you're at the mat, leave the hips up here. Just bend the elbows so the hands come to where the outside of the glutes, you're going to just land on the hands as you lower down. Or the thumb. We're moving into fish. Lengthen the legs. Put the feet together, forming our fishtail. Point the toes. Pressing up off the elbows, lift the heart. We don't want to put weight on the head. So keep pressing those elbows in, opening the shoulders, lift the heart, point those toes in fish. All right, lower down. If you'd like, go into fish again. Otherwise, come with me into wheel. We'll see what happens again. I'm having a tired day. I might not make it up into wheel. If you're going there, I find what helps is to widen my feet a little bit, bring my hips all the way to my heels, because I want to keep my weight where my strength is in my lower body. Hands go, fingertips underneath or thereabouts the shoulders. Elbows are nice and up. I have to be careful I'm not on my hair, because that causes a problem. Done it before. All right, on an inhale, I'm going to try and lift up. So my hips come up forward, And here we go. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's going to happen today. It is. All right. Hold it for a couple breaths if you can. Keep lifting, lifting, lifting. And then when you're ready, come on down. Ooh, that was really tough today, but that's okay. All right, if you're a horned fish, come on out. Let's lengthen those legs. We are almost there to our Savasana. All right. Inhale, the right knee, bending it towards the armpit or shoulder. Clasp the fingers below the knee on the shin, not directly on the knee. Extend the opposite leg, nice and long. Flex it as if you're standing on it. Inhale. Exhale, pull that knee towards the elbow. Use your grip strength. Keep the elbows close to the body. Tuck the chin so that the neck is not arching. Let as much of the spine and shoulders and back on the mat as possible. Pull it into the side of your abdomen. Nice and tight. Breathe into that. Keep pulling. Good for your grip strength. Good for your digestion. All right, we're going to move right into a spinal twist. So, first thing we're going to do is release that knee, leave that knee bent, but just tuck the opposite hip of the bent knee under, more aligned with the spine. Go ahead and bring that knee up and over into our spinal twist. Extend the right arm out for stability, palm down. Eventually the shoulder will open and come down to the mat, but you want to leave it there for stabilization. You can have both arms out, or you can keep one hand on the knee. Lift that hip, rotating into a spinal twist, breathing and exhaling. All right, come back over. Readjust those hips. Lengthen the opposite one. Inhale that knee up. Lace those fingers. Tuck that chin. Exhale, pull that knee towards the armpit. Flex the opposite foot. You can just release the bent knee, the foot on the bent knee. Keep pulling that in and breathing into that. You're forming some compression in the low abdomen and inner thigh, and you want that compression. Breathe into it. One more nice long breath. All right. Release that knee, keep it bent, and just use that foot to kind of scoot the hips over. Bring it back up. Take the opposite arm to the outside of it. Extend the left hand out from the shoulder. Look towards the left hand. Draw that shoulder towards the mat. Pull that knee over gently, breathing into it. You can extend the leg if you'd like, taking a little deeper into the twist, only if that's available. That's pulling my shoulder up a bit, so I'm going to bend it back. One more nice long breath. All right, let's roll back. All right, let's do both knees, forming a tight little bundle, or a big bundle. Let's try, you might have to lift your head, let's try and reach opposite elbows, forearms or wrists, and draw the feet and shins and knees side by side. Drop the head back down, tucking the chin. Now, pull on those elbows and set the tailbone down and the shoulders down. Lengthen the spine, send it to the mat, tuck the chin. All right, let's extend the legs, knees bent. Just roll the feet both directions. Draw the hands up to the knife edges of the feet, knees widen, feet are flexed, and just massage that low back by rocking back and forth in happy baby. Okay, let's move into initial relaxation. Soles of the feet together, knees bent. Draw the knife edges of the feet down to your mat. Let the knees flop open. Bring the hands to the low abdomen, letting the elbows and triceps come to the mat. Closing eyes. Now we're going to use that deep, safe breath to just let go. We engaged everything at the beginning, all those muscular engagements, those energetic engagements. Now we're just going to completely release them. Just take a little mental scan all over the body. And if this is not comfortable for you, you can always tempt the knees in towards each other. That works too, if your low back needs that. No worries. So we're exhaling all the tension away. We're softening everything, melting towards the mat. Just like we learn to engage everything, we learn to systematically release everything. Building those strong mind-body connections, mind-body breath. Alrighty. When you feel like you've really deactivated everything, draw the back of the hands away from the body to the floor. Lengthen the legs out to the corners of the mat. Let the feet flop open. We're in Savasana, also called corpse pose. The idea that we are letting go so much so that all of the energy in our body is disconnected from it, and it's the shape it would take if there was nothing engaged within our body. Complete rest, deep rest. So we let the breath go back to its normal depth and cadence. And of course we have thoughts, but we practice letting them drift by without tethering to them like clouds. Giving ourselves our deepest rest in Savasana. Stay here as long as you like, even if you have to get up and turn something off and come back to it. You deserve this rest. When you're ready, draw your heels towards your glutes, rolling over to one side or the other, curling up in a little ball, just kind of letting everything, kind of all the fluids and everything even out. We open our eyes to make a gentle re-entry into our day. Take the top hand and we press up into a seated posture. Sit up nice and tall. Just a couple of breaths, just to let go. Inhale. Exhale it away. Inhale our hands into prayer. And let's draw that through our head and our hearts. Namaste. God bless your day. I hope you enjoyed that practice. Thank you for joining me. I hope you'll try out some of the other practices if you haven't already. And I'll be continuing to build this channel. So I hope you'll subscribe and stay with me.